Hey guys, welcome to the video where I said I was going to be doing a little homeschool update. I think maybe I'll try to do these every 2 months or so. Like I said in my video last week, I just have decided in the season, once again, this comes and goes. 3 channels is just too many, so I don't want to post homeschool stuff over my homeschool channel right now just because it's too many to handle. So 2 channels it is. A homeschool update is here. If you aren't here for the homeschool stuff, it will only be every 2 months or so. I don't know. But I also do show snippets of our homeschool days in my other videos. But today I wanted to do a recap on how the first 2 months have gone. We started at the beginning of September. We're at the end of October here. 2 months in, we've made a few changes. Some things are going well that I would like to share. Maybe that will help you in the future. I don't think there's anything that has gone terribly wrong. So what I had done at the beginning of the year, the school year, is make a to-do list for each of my 2 older kids who I'll mainly be focusing on for this, who are in 9th and 6th grade. One of them I made a weekly to-do list, one of them I made a daily to-do list, just based on how their personalities work and what they would want to do. So, and then I will also touch a little bit on what I'm doing with my 1st grader and my 4-year-old as well, but those are not as big of a focus for me. So for the 9th grader, the goal I had for her this year is to figure out if she's going to school or not next year, because in the province that we have moved to, grade 10 is now high school. Where we were, had been grade 9. Now it is grade 10. In the summer, she was really debating going to university, and she was really leaning towards going to high school. As of right now, she's leaning towards not, but we're taking this year, and like that is our main focus. We are doing the stuff to get her ready for school in case she wants to, and we need to find out like within the next little while here if she's actually going to be going so we can register her. So she has a weekly to-do list because she is just doing all of her stuff independently, and here is the first thing that's on my list is biology, and we did a major change right away. So originally we were going to do apology as human anatomy, and she did try that for a while, but it is written for, it said I think like 11th or 12th grade, and it was really tough. Like I was reading some of the questions, and you had to read, you know, pages of information and then infer things from what it said in order to get the answer, and it was quite deep. Honestly, I would have figured that would have been closer to university level stuff, so not really where a 9th grader should jump in. So instead, she is doing exploring creation with biology. This is apology as obviously earlier biology unit, which does have some human anatomy in it. It even had some chemistry, and she's been going through this a lot quicker. We also got the student notebook thing, which is also massive. So she's enjoying this much better, and it was good that we could make the tweaks needed in order to have something that she's actually understanding. And I think there's going to be a lot of stuff in here that she, like coming up, that she will enjoy. So that has been our biggest tweak, is that she is doing this one instead of the human anatomy, and I kept all that stuff so we can use it down the road. But this was a good change, and so she is doing this 4 times a week. She is doing her math 4 times a week. She is continuing with Learn Math Fast, which is going really well for her. She doesn't love math, which is fair, but the fact that we don't have to keep repeating the same thing over and over again is really nice for her, because it's a mastery based system. So that's working really well. She's doing that 4 times a week as well. No changes there other than we're just progressing through the books. And then she's doing The Good and the Beautiful, the high school year 1. So their high school I do wish they would have had a 9th grade language arts kind of set up like their younger years. I was tempted to originally put her in the 8th grade one just because she's never done The Good and the Beautiful before, but I know she would have taken that personally, like, oh, she's in 9th grade and she's doing an 8th grade thing, because she loves anything to do with writing. So she's doing the high school year 1, and it's a 3-year thing, but it spans from grade 9 through to grade 12, and she's enjoying most of it. It has a little bit of art in there that she's not really doing, which is fine with me, but there's a lot of editing and grammar and spelling and reading, so she's enjoying all of that. She's pretty much doing like one of those booklets a month, so there's 10 booklets per year, and she's just finishing up the second one here at the end of the second month, so that's perfect. And then she's doing history, so she's doing the story of the world. We're doing book 3, which is, I'll put up a picture because I can't remember what the time span is. So she's doing that on her own, and she's going at a quicker pace than the 6th grader is. So I told her once she's done that, she can move on to the next one, and then I will do some like deeper history stuff with her. She enjoys history a lot. And she's also working on her grade 9 book list that I made out for her. She is currently reading Romeo and Juliet. That's the only one that I said she had to read. So I got the No Fear Shakespeare that has the original Shakespeare plus a modern translation. And then I gave her, I think, 13 books that she could read, and said that she had to read 8 of them, something like that. She's already read 2 and started a few others. So her first one was You Are the Girl for the Job by Jess Connolly. She really enjoyed that, flew through it. Then she read Salt to the Sea by Ruta Sepetys, I think in a day. Really enjoyed that one, and I think she started a couple others, but hasn't checked any off. So she's working on her list. So for the most part, things are going smoothly there, going kind of according to plan after we switched out the science. So pretty easy. For my 6th grader, I knew that this year was going to be a big change for him. We were going to be doing a lot more writing, a lot more sit-down work, and my big goal for him this year is to work independently, and that we will be working on all year. He is doing a lot of the Good and Beautiful stuff, but he's doing the grade 5 stuff just because we haven't done it before, and he doesn't take it as personally if he is in a different grade than what he really is. So I had science, math, and language arts. I didn't realize, like on his daily to-do list, I didn't realize how much time they were going to each take us. So we made an adjustment where we just did 2 of them a day, and we kind of alternated which 2. And now we've decided to do 2 a day, but we're going to always do language arts and then alternate between math and his science. The science that he is doing is the Apologia General Science book. And so let's start with that. Apologia General Science, it's pretty intense. There is a lot of note-taking. He has dysgraphia, undiagnosed, but like very much has it. So he does all the note-taking where there's like copy work. If he has to copy something down, he's doing that. But if he needs to like come up with whatever it is he's writing, then I will write whatever he tells me. We're finding that works pretty well, and he is overall enjoying the science. Like, it started out pretty boring with kind of the history of science, and like some of like historical scientists, and it's getting into more interesting stuff as we go. So I think he'll continue to enjoy it more as we go. So language arts, surprisingly, is his favorite of the bigger subjects. He chose to do like that. He would like to do this every day. So we are going through this book decently quickly. What lesson number was he on today? let's see. We just did lesson 25 over 2 months. That's not bad. We've had a lot of sickness and Thanksgiving and stuff, so I feel like that was pretty good. And then there was a little while where we weren't doing it every day. Overall, very impressed by this. Part of the reason that we chose the grade 5 level is because he wanted to do watercolor, and that is what is in here. So there's a lot of extra stuff in here. There's a lot of art, there's a lot of geography, there's some history in addition to the reading and the spelling and the grammar. So it covers a lot. So the fact that this takes us so long in the morning, I don't mind so much. And then we're doing this the same as what I said with the science. If he is copying something, he can do that himself. But if there is, because there's like writing workshops where he has to write certain things, if he has to write a paragraph and he has to come up with what he's writing, I will do the actual writing. But other than that, he's writing in here. These things are huge. This is what I'm really realizing is I think even if we do this like at the rate we're doing it, we're not going to finish this book in a year. We'll be decently close, but then when it comes to math, which we haven't been doing every day, and when we are doing it, we're not always doing a full lesson. He is on, I think we did lesson 12 today. No, we did lesson 11. We finished, all the way finished 11. This, at this rate, is going to take us a long time. Math is going also okay. I would like more independence. I feel like he's getting really good at doing the different things in here on his own, moving on from section to section. Part of this is also like ADHD and stuff like that, trying to stay on task. It's a little bit harder in math. Yeah, so this is just taking more time, but I think it's working well. I'm less certain. I feel less certain about the math than I do about the other 2 subjects I've talked about already, but I feel okay enough with it that I want to continue on. We've covered a lot of different topics already. It's interesting because this will be like the spiral system as opposed to the mastery system that I'm doing with my oldest. And we've already, you know, gone over number patterns and done some, like, learned about prime numbers and multiplication and tables and graphs and division and we've only done 11 lessons. So I feel like there's a lot going on and the lessons are a little bit long. So, but I also don't feel like the lessons are unnecessarily long. Like he needs the practice. It's not like if I thought he had it, we would just move on. But this will take us a while to get through. We'll see where we go from there. And then his subjects that he's doing every other day are his other ones. So he's doing typing and history and cursive and explode the code. Explode the code I think is technically a phonics thing, but I'm using it more as a spelling and like printing practice. Cursive he's really actually enjoying and doing well with. History is going well. He's listening to the story of the world, the same one that my 9th grader is doing. And then typing, he hates, but I told him typing, it sucks until like that moment where it clicks with your fingers in your brain. You just got to keep going until you get there. It's okay if you're really slow and make a bunch of mistakes, just erase the mistakes, be slow, work it through. We're still using freetypinggame.net. It works fine. Like it's, I don't know, like I said, you just have to keep going until you hit your stride. And then he also has a book list. So far he read The Faithful Spy and enjoyed it. He really liked all the illustrations. And now he's working on The Labors of Hercules Beale, which is a pretty long book. So he is doing this for the When the Good and the Beautiful says 20 minutes of reading time. He's not using one of their book lists. He's using this. And then my daughter, I didn't tell her like a certain amount of time to read the books. I just told her how many I wanted read in the year. And I think she's doing good. She's like on track for that. So that's the bulk of it. My 1st grader is in school. So he is doing all his school day stuff. And then sometimes when I can, when he has enough energy and I have enough energy and we remember, we are doing Teach Your Child to Read in 100 Easy Lessons. If he has a day off from school and we have the energy, he's also doing Handwriting Without Tears and math, which he loves and is flying through. He does some math. Those are like my main focus with him right now, but because he's also in school and really tired by the end of the day, it's not a huge focus. So here is one of the readers the first grader came home with. First of all, it's called Chairs. I don't know, like, does this seem like the kind of book a first grader would be interested in? Like, oh, even the cat disagrees. Yeah, so really dated, and it's all about chairs. And I'm wondering how this is supposed to teach kids to read, or even be interested in reading. I mean, my 6-year-old really likes cats, so this page he thought was pretty good, but as soon as I showed him the book options, the first thing he said was boring, because he's not so interested in chairs. And then the 4-year-old, she has just been doing so much arts and crafts. We are in the stage of enjoying cutting all the papers into the tiniest little bits that you can possibly get. Every one of my kids has gone through this stage. I hate it for the floor's sake, but it's really good like for fine motor, and also it's entertaining. So we're living with it, but I'm looking forward to that stage being over. She is also doing Teach Your Child to Read in 100 Easy Lessons, and she's getting it, like it's clicking for her, which is really nice. And then we're just doing some, like, you know, letter practice, fine motor skills, math stuff, like little workbook things, but nothing overly complicated for her. She's been spending a lot of time doing puzzles and watercolors. She loves painting as well, so a lot of that kind of stuff, but just very low-key. Oh, and this week we did start the YouTube channel. Why am I blanking? Art for Kids Hub. All my kids always go through the stage where they, you know, like to draw, and the Art for Kids Hub has a really good playlist for young artists, I think it's called. I can leave it linked. And they have like some super easy tutorials on how to draw, and so she's been going through some of those. Made a cute little octopus. There's some fun ones there, so we're in that stage. And also step-by-step drawing books, fun stuff like that. Nothing too high pressure or anything, just enjoying it. So that's how the homeschool year is going for the first couple months. A couple little tweaks. Not sure how things are going to go going into like Christmas and stuff, but hopefully in another 2 months I can do another update. If you guys have any like resource recommendations, want to share how it's going in your homeschool, resources you're loving, I always love to hear it. So let me know in the comments, and thanks for hanging out with me.